most possibly even nearing that half century. Of course, got to get off the run rate first. But yeah, that's the main thing, Peter, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think, with a very quality left arm slow bowler here, just, ensuring that he doesn't take any more wickets. And, we've had a 4 and a 2 from Rajesh, so, he's playing some shots already.
Hoping for your guys here today?
I think if we could get 230 to 250, we're in with a chance. Obviously, getting to 200, then we'd need a very strong bowling performance. But, we just want to get enough runs on the board that we can see, give ourselves a chance to do something in the field and with the ball.
Yeah, certainly so. Because then, like you say, if you reach that 230 to 250 mark, then you've still got, as we say, we know England are, a fantastic side, one of the two best sides in the world at 60s level. But even then, that's still a decent total for them to reach. And an early wicket loss for them, it's anyone's game, isn't it? Cricket is such an interesting game, proper chess match, as I've been told many a time by many a player. But yeah, that's an interesting total to reach, and if they can get anywhere near that, you'd be best pleased with that.
Absolutely. Nice to see CK tuck one off his legs down to fine leg and get a single and get off the mark. He builds his confidence on defense and then kind of starts rolling from there. So good to see that.
Yeah, brilliant. Nice single then. That's up in the air. And that's going to go for 4 runs. Brilliant to see.
So Rajesh pretty quickly moving on to 10 off 5 balls. He certainly tends to have a pretty good strike rate.
Yeah, almost such a start that Ravi Suri had. He's almost, emulating that. 10 off 5 for Adate. Now, it's brilliant to see for US persuasion. But England, those 2 wickets.
It's interesting as we learn a little more about England cricket. I may be slightly off in the numbers, but I think we were told there's about 3,000 people playing over 60 county cricket with all the different first, second, third, fourth, fifth teams in some counties. And, that, as I say, we're so happy that we've got an event coming up in Dallas in October, where we'll have about 100 players there. And we're actually playing in one of the pitches that was used for the team.
On year, and especially at 60s level, like you say, you must be so pleased just to see what's going on with the sport and being a part of it. Because you can watch from the sidelines all you like, but being a part of it, you're really involved with it. That's what's must make you so proud. But getting on with some really nice bunch of guys as well.
Yes, I mean, one of the wonderful things is that you spend enough time together on tour to really get to know someone. In school or college, you have lots of time to make friends. As you get into the workplace, you really don't have those same kinds of opportunities. But now, there's some folks. I've been to Toronto with them. I've been to Dubai. We had an event there. We took 2 teams to South Africa earlier this year. And, now this trip here, you get to know them. In some cases, the wives come along. And it really is great to make some new friends.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Also, just extending that, I mean, some of the England guys we've now seen several times. So, hey, Pete, how you doing? Oh, good, mate. How's things? And so on. And that's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, it's building that rapport, isn't it? Because you're all in it for the same reason. This is we've spoke so much about, on this YouTube channel with so many who played. We've seen great games against Wales, Scotland, the West Indies, Australia. Now, of course, this US series. Across the world, over 60s cricket is really just booming, and that's fantastic to see. As we've said so many times, and we can wax lyrical about it. For a social aspect, physical aspect, and mental aspect as well, because it means so much to just be involved with stuff like this. And keeps you fit as well, Peter, which is always a great thing.
Absolutely. I think, you see the fitness level of the England team, and also really from watching some of your streams, the Australian team. And because they've been playing and training for it, because they want to be as competitive as they can, you can see the results. Oh dear, that's a shame to see Rajesh bowled.
Yeah, that's another one for Phil Deacon. Bowled out there by Phil Deacon. Rajesh Adate, after such a good start again by him. Very similar to Ravi Suri, as I mentioned. Some nice boundaries, some fantastic hits. That's the third wicket lost for the USA, and Phil Deacon's having such an economical bowling moment for him. 2 wickets and only 6 runs lost, and he's into his 4th over now. Extraordinary stuff from Phil Deacon, as we've seen all summer. But yes, another blow there for Adate, just as he was getting to that similar level of your captain, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, if he could have been in there for another 10, 15 overs, he could have been working his way towards a 50. He was really playing some nice shots. I think right now we need to get a message out there that Phil Deacon's needed at home.
Yeah. That's right. Might be the only way to stop him. He looks like he's on top form here at Chipping Campden. What a player. Well on his way to claiming another wicket. Yeah, when you're playing people like that, that's that. You know, when you see this England team, that's that sort of level, isn't it? And you sort of that's where you'd love to be in a few years' time. Really up there challenging the World Cup, as I've mentioned to quite a few people. It's on the horizon. It'll come around soon enough, because these weeks and months are going by incredibly quickly. Next August we'll have the World Cup in Canada. So, in that aspect, Peter, that's almost, you're seeing that World Cup as a really good marking point in this year now to really pick the best possible team and to see where you are ahead of the World Cup in Canada.
Chennai was a partial success for us in that we beat a couple of test-playing nations, finished 7th, I think. We have probably 6 or 7 very strong players who, for family and work reasons, weren't able to make this tour. But, a number of the folks here, everyone here will be, fighting for a place in that World Cup squad. Having some events. I mean, one of the things that has really helped Masters grow in the US was a strong organizing core that then kind of, expanded and got the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, now the 70s together. There's a lot of folks, and I won't try and list 12 names, but a couple, Parag and Arun, 2 gentlemen who just give huge amounts of their time and dream what is possible. I mean, we had a USA domestic tournament in Dubai. And how great was that? And it was sort of an alternative to being rained out in Houston. So it was an amazing experience to do that. Or to say, well, why can't we send 2 teams to South Africa? South Africa had 2 teams. We had 2 teams, Zimbabwe, Wales. Great cricket. We were in Cape Town. And, some of the fields had views up of Table Mountain. And you look around and just think, this is amazing.
Yeah, we spoke to the Welsh manager. We were at Newport Cricket Club in May, and we spoke to the Welsh manager about that series you were just on about, with South Africa and Zimbabwe. Even he said how much of a roaring success it was. And as you say, playing those nations and really testing your mettle against a range of different sides, it's brilliant to see. And that'll be a really intriguing competition to keep an eye on, actually, the World Cup next year in Canada.
Yeah, I'm waiting eagerly to hear the exact dates, because we have also a field hockey Masters World Cup around the same time, and I'm hoping they're separated, because I'd love the chance to play both. I was a sort of a late call-up for the Chennai team, because unfortunately one of our Pakistani players never got a visa. There were the India-Pakistan issues. We'd been assured there wouldn't be any problems, and there were. So I, got to keep in a game and, watch some of the guys play some very nice cricket. But it's, we're all competitive. We'd all love a chance to make it through to something like that. But, we'll see what the next year brings.
Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant to hear. So, yes, from Phil Deacon, a wicket maiden keeps the US at 35 for free. And just confirmation, as you can see on screen, that Bhavani Padada has come in next to partner Chandrakant Balingate in the middle. So for the US, that's a Great shot to
Yeah.
start proceedings and just get another 4 runs on the board there, Peter.
Yep, CK really waited and kind of steered that nicely in the gap between really slip and gully. So good to see him get his first boundary.
Yeah, as we mentioned, he's got his eye in there, hasn't he? And he's got his first 4 runs.
Absolutely. Critical for him now to stay there and start accumulating. We don't want to be dropping another wicket or 2 before drinks.
That's right. Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody, here on this England Over 60s YouTube channel. If you've just joined us, we're in the 9th over. 39 for 3 for the US, who won the toss. And Ravi Suri, the US captain, elected to bat first. The second ODI in the Kleenclad Cup. Here at a lovely Chipping Campden Cricket Club. It's only going to get warmer, I think, a high of about 27 degrees today. But yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I about an hour ago read about this Kleenclad Cup. We're looking forward to seeing that. We're probably odds against to take it home with us at the moment, but we'll see. We'll try and rebound. But I think, you know, it's also appropriate to say how critical the role of sponsors is in this. Most of the sponsorships are really being done for love of the game, but it certainly helps because, you know, it's an expensive venture when you look at hosting events like this or our team coming over. We've got a number of companies that have kind of chipped in and helped with uniforms and other things. You know, Yash, our main uniform sponsor, and it's really appreciated that companies do support sport in this way.
Oh, certainly so. There, you echo the sentiments there of just what we've heard so often on this tour, that sponsors really do go a long way to putting this all together. And even we spoke to many people at clubhouses across the country when we've been going, you know, especially you know months in advance. These games are planned, and there's so much planning goes into it, from the cricket tees to as you say, to the facilities, to making sure everything's top notch, ready for a game like this. Like we've turned up to Chipping Campden today. It's a lovely clubhouse, only been built within the last 4 years. Only been up for 4 years. It's a beautiful clubhouse here in Gloucestershire.
I've just taken a quick look on my shirt to find the names of a couple of other sponsors. So Wonderbots, which are into robotics and things like that. I'm struggling to read that one. Can you see?
iSpace there as well.
iSpace
Yeah.
and Zen Wealth.
Brilliant.
So not the smoothest of ways of doing that, but thank you to all of them. We really do appreciate their help.
Fantastic. So the end of that over then. A 4, then 4 dot balls, followed by a 1 for Mike Palmer. Leaves the US on 40 for 3 as we head into this 10th over then. Sits off 19 for Chandrakant Barlingate as we head into this next over for the US.
Yes, I mean, you look at Phil Deacon, 2 for 6 off 4 overs. From the other end, 1 for 30. You know, that doesn't sound so bad.
And he comes again then, Phil Deacon. We know what he can do, as we've seen so prominently this morning here in Chipping Campden. Nice delivery there again from Deacon. Yeah, what's it like, Peter, for to come to these, a range of different clubs? As you say, it was a fantastic opportunity to be walked around the private grounds at Winchmore Hill, and it's grounds like this, a proper village cricket club that really is the heart of the local community.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see the range of grounds, the different kinds of clubhouse. One thing that my team probably wasn't ready for is the quality of English cricket tees. The fun thing for me has been looking at some things that probably 10 or 15-year-old me used to love, and wouldn't normally be part of my diet now, but I was grabbing the kind of little cakes with some jam in it and some things, and I realized it was a memory back to when I was 15 and playing. But fantastic range of sandwiches, just so friendly. The drinks breaks, bringing out Ribena and different things like this. So it's fun to see how proud people are of their clubs, and happy to have kind of a game like this come. We're just delighted to be here. Obviously, we get on the bus, we're in the hands of our driver. We actually missed this first. We saw the bowling green and we kind of headed down the street a little bit, and it was like, oh, I think I saw something between the trees. So found our way back. But it's the other shocker for us is the roads here the lanes seem so narrow. So you got a bus and a heavy goods vehicle coming the other way, and we look at that's about an inch of clearance. And, the guys are driving away, and it's at least a year since I lost a mirror.
But yeah, another wicket loss there. Phil Deacon strikes again. 3 for 6 then now, and that's the loss of Bolingate.
Sorry, I got engaged in too much doing colour and not enough on the action.
Yeah. But yeah, that's another blow for the US. But Phil Deacon's really got a taste for this now. He'll be looking to claim as he possibly can in his 9 allocated overs. In his 5th now, and as you say, only losing 6 runs, 3 wickets in that time is absolutely extraordinary. He'll be looking for another one here. 2 dot balls and a wicket to start this over. Made that 3 dot balls as well.
Yeah, we're going to need a plan for dealing with Mr. Deacon that's more effective than the one we've had today.
Yeah.
Now, the new batsman here, Gill, is a very useful bowler and sort of a late in swing. He's had a good score in our one warm-up game, and came in right at the tail end of our game against England Lions, and I think hit 10 or 12 off about 5 balls. So yeah. He likes to take a good swing.
And that's another one. Lost. That's, my goodness, a 4th wicket. And Gill out for a duck. And Phil Deacon, as I've just read on this England Over 60 social media, is on fire. He certainly is. My goodness me, Peter. Goodness gracious me. Now it's where it was a good start for the US, Peter. 40 for 5 now. It's just, you don't want these to keep falling.
I think I better find somebody else to do commentary, so they may bring some more luck. Well, there's still lots of overs. We do bat fairly deep. We clearly need these folks to see what we can do to dig in and start inching this back towards respectability.
So yes, 40 for 5 then. Very, very interesting start for the USA, and for England. They'll be hoping to really, really limit the US. They'll be licking their chops. None more so than Phil Deacon. What an extraordinary return from him. I think we might be on for, I think it's only Mike Palmer this summer who's got 4 wickets in a single game. That was in that 26 for 6 spell at Fairburn last month.
Yeah, I wish you hadn't mentioned that. All right, 1 ball negotiated. I guess we've got to reassess our goals right now.
Well, that's right, isn't it, Peter? Because when you lose wickets in succession like that, it really... when you lose a wicket anyway, it's a confidence blow. But when to lose a few in succession like that, and for someone to go out on a duck, that must be just trying to regroup as a batting unit there. That must be quite tough.
Yes, you know, and clearly you've got someone who's bowling a very good spell. I don't think it doesn't look as though the wicket's spitting or doing anything. It's just, you know, consistent, good bowling where every ball is where he wants it. So how did you come to be doing commentary on these over 60 games?
Yeah, we got involved with the University of Gloucestershire, forged a partnership with the England over 60s. I've got to say, I've been really impressed just by really getting involved with cricket. Really enjoyed it over the last year or so. So it's been good, and we've had such a full summer of it this summer. We had a few rained off games last year, so it's been nice to have a full schedule, a full calendar of some great games, and I've been just really impressed with just the level and the standard that we keep seeing from these sides is just absolutely second to none. That's been really good.
One of the things the Masters Cricket USA leadership has worked on a lot the last couple of years is streaming of the games and commentary. But I've got to say the setup that you guys have, you know, showing up with the van that has just about all the toys you could ever want in it. This is a very professional setup, and you know, I know there's our team has a lot of friends and relatives around the world who are enjoying looking in. I think the first day it was a little tough to find the satellites or get the connection you needed, but certainly you know, the quality of the filming and you know, the discussions around the cricket are really being enjoyed by people around the world.
Yeah, that's brilliant. As we can just say, Kevin Watson's into his first over. Thank you very much there, Peter, for that. Because that was as we say, we have, you know, none of this is possible without the help of Ivers, OB, Truckman, Nuala and Benny in the truck as well. Big shout out to that trio for getting us, you know, for getting us on live all the time here on YouTube. Big thank you to all of them. As we say, it's a pleasure to be here at Chipping Campden. So Kevin Watson, another dangerous bowler in his own right, Peter. Got to watch him as he enters his first over. 4 dot balls in succession to start his. Again, England have got so many in their arsenal that they can just really punish the US if they really want to, or punish any side, because, you know, even Australia, as we saw, you know, in Australia side that, you know, as you say, are such a, you know, almost everyone thought they were unbeatable. And that 26 for 6 spell at Fairburn shows that this England side can do it against almost anyone.
Certainly a quality team. I mean, you know, what a battle they had with Australia. You know, 2 wins each and a tie. Were you actually doing that tie game? Or wow! I mean, what a chance to be involved in an amazing game. So look, we know they're a quality team. Is this game going the way we like right now? No, but you know, there's 5 more wickets. The guys will dig in and give it a fight.
Yeah, you know, as we say, a maiden over there for Kevin Watson. Chetan Shah, as we said, came in after the loss of Pardeep Gill as he went out for a duck. 40 for 5 as the US just looked to regroup, and Hughes back again after claiming 2 wickets in that last over that he had. Phil Deacon's back. Ominous for the US when they see him back with the ball and ready to bowl again. As we say, he's took so many wickets this summer. His most notable game so far to this point was, of course, Littleborough, at his home club, where he took 3 wickets. He's took 4 today in Chipping Campden. We're only 11 overs in to the session, to the innings.
Yeah, we've got to make sure we bat some overs, otherwise the tea ladies are going to get rushed.
That's right. But yes, it's...
So I'm just curious, how many cameras do you have in the setup here?
Yes, we have, I believe, I want to say 4. Yes, 4 cameras, which is a fantastic. Almost getting all handles here behind the wicket. And Benny following the ball.
Yeah, fantastic range of options. It really does produce very nice coverage. It's high quality.
Yeah, just confirmation. We thought it was Phil Deacon in for this But it's going to be Lee Self, who was the only change to the side that played at Winchmore Hill. Coming in for Jason Cornt, who had a good showing at Winchmore Hill. But Lee Self's back in the setup today. And Kevin Watson on this near side saying, go on Lee, can he claim a wicket in his first over? Peter will be hoping not. But, but as you say, how crucial is it now? Like, as you say, it's not completely all done and dusted for the US now. As you say, 5 wickets in hand. Padada and Shah just need to build this partnership. As you say, still got 30 overs remaining. So if we can, it's those, as we said earlier, it's those milestones. If you can get to that drinks break and you're both still in, then it's a 5-over spell. You can just keep going for those 5 overs and see where you're at 20, 25 overs if you get there.
Absolutely. There's no reason for these two to rush right now. Be confident. You'll find some shots.
Yeah.
This is so beautiful. I mean, there's the faintest touch of wind. You really can't see the trees moving at all. The clouds are just painted in the sky. And, you look around and think, what a beautiful place to be playing a game and, sitting here on a Sunday.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? My first Sunday game after I missed the Chairman's 11 versus Australia at Oakamore on that Sunday the 13th of July. As I was on holiday, but nice to be here on a Sunday actually for a game. It's a nice day for, as you say, a lovely day. It's going to be more of the same at Eastern Castle tomorrow. Nearing that 30-degree mark again. I think the hottest it will get will be Tuesday, and I think we avoid a game there, as I think it would be sweltering heat if we got to that, if we played the game on Tuesday. But it's going to be on Wednesday and Thursday, of course. Hursley Park and Hamworthy. The final 2 games against the over 60s and the Lions for this against this US side. Down south, down in Bournemouth.
Yes, we're certainly getting to see a little bit of the country, and that's a nice addition to the tour.
Kev Watson then. I was up in his neck of the woods on holiday in Yorkshire last week. Beautiful part of the world, as Kev Watson knows.
What were you up to there?
Yeah, it was on the nice family holiday. Saw the sights. Went to a castle one of the days actually, so that was nice. And we it's a lovely part of the world, Yorkshire. We went up there for a few games in this summer, as well earlier in the year. Dunnington, England against the West Indies. And we also went to Fairburn, as I mentioned. And yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful part of the world. Great to be up north earlier in the summer. This is the down south portion now, though. Kev Watson comes in, and after his, that great maiden. Oh, he had to be careful there, and it was just, if it was a bit more pinpoint accuracy from the captain, it would have been a 6-wicket loss, but a few more runs then for the US.
And we'll happily take that run.
Yeah, that's right. But that's the thing, Peter. From a US persuasion, you don't want to be skittled out for less than 100 here, do you? You want to get, you want to just keep going as far as you possibly can against this England side, don't you?
Absolutely. We want to give our bowlers a chance. As a keeper, I want us to bowl a lot of overs. I mean, I love taking catches and getting stumpings, so yes, we've got to dig in. We've got to, get this to 50, to 75, to 100, and hopefully a bit beyond. But certainly a dominating start from England so far. We've got to see what we can do to show some mettle and keep in the fight. One of the interesting things we learnt at our tour of Lords yesterday was that next year there will be the first ever women's test to be held at Lords. So of course we listened to this and thought, there's been men's tests, they're going to have a women's test. What about an over 60 test all one day?
Yeah.
So I think we're probably going to be trying to bend the ear of some of the England folks and say, hey, we'd be happy to come. We know Australia would probably be first in line for that invite, but hey, we're closer and we'll come.
Yeah. Do you know, it's not beyond the realms of possibility, that, Peter, because the way seniors cricket is going, it's just fantastic to see it build year on year. And as you say, what a great privilege that would be. You know, the home of cricket, literally. Fantastic, really.
I remember growing up, the village knockout, which I think still goes on, and the final is held at Lord's. And that, teams across the country fought to get a chance to get there. I mean, my home team made the final 8 once, I think. But, you see that there's the village knockout, there's certain club things that are held there, there's certain schoolboy stuff, the Oxford-Cambridge game. Well, what about a over 60s game? Hey, I think that could be an amazing addition to their schedule. Maybe it gets rotated each year. Maybe one year's the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. But, recognize one of the super things here is that we are showing that cricket is a game for life. It's not just a kid's game.
Yeah, we echo that sentiment there, Peter. But yeah, it's for the US now. 42 for 5 as Lee Self's back in then. They'll claim another run. It's done a trickle towards the boundary. I think, yeah, we'll just get there on that near side. Gets there before it reaches the boundary, but another run added to the total for the US.
Quite interesting to see how the ball going up the hill really did slow down quite a bit. So.
Yeah, just approaching midday here at Chipping Campden. Slow delay as Ed Gordon lets just rejids his field. Just trying to cover all bases now. So we'd love to claim a few wickets and really put the US under pressure here.
And I wish him a couple of full tosses that could get some boundaries for us.
Yeah.
I love looking around the boundary. There's one lady walking around kind of behind the sight screen. Oh dear.
Oh, there we go. Another breakthrough. Sorry to cut you off there, Peter, but Lee Self claims a wicket there. And that's that's, yeah, I'd gotta say it's a shame for the US, but England really, really starting to crank up the pressure on this US side now. A 6th wicket took, and it's out for another duck for Shah, Chetan Shah. And Ashok Patel is to come in for the United States of America. Yeah, and out for another duck, Peter. And the way this is, just as we've said, I've said this a few times with Rash Mahmood, who does a lot of the commentary on the series. In Australia, he's just been out in Gibraltar. He always says this, when it gets to a moment like this in a game, ominous is the word, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, it's, England is showing their quality, and right now it's a struggle for our US team. We'll see what these two can do. They're both very determined batters. We don't need to see a high run rate right now. We just need to see survival. Get through to drinks, and then take it through the next 15 overs, see what we can keep adding, run here, run there, to get towards some kind of a total.
So then Lee Self, really positive start from him. in his second over. Dot ball one, dot ball wicket. Adds another dot ball there.
Yeah, I don't like these wicket maidens. Maiden is okay.
Yeah.
We'll take some survival. But certainly a great performance by the England bowlers and in the field supporting them.
So then, 43 for 6 are the United States of America as they look to just really shore up the ship. But Gordon Lennox, he moved around his field, and just as that happened, and he's just doing so again actually, as we saw that wicket took by Lee Self, but here's Kevin Watson, who's into his third over, and he's only conceded 1 run. Always a bit of a miscommunication over the field, but they get back in time. Bit of a slight trip up there. He just ought to, see if he just tying his laces again. But yes, Kevin Watson back in after only conceding 1 run. And when you've got people, when you're playing against players like that, it's so difficult to just get any advantage really there, Peter.
Yes, I mean, if someone's bowling 4 decent balls and over, and then 2 are short or wide, it's easy to pick up some runs. When all 6 balls are on the money, it's a lot harder proposition.
Certainly is. So, good afternoon, everybody. If you've just joined us, it's just turned midday here at Chipping Campden Cricket Club with that early start of 11 a.m. And the US at 43 for 6. Great for Lee Self to get a wicket as he comes into the team today. In that, as we said, that only change in the side, replacing Jason Cornt here in Gloucestershire. As we say, we spoke to Ed Gordon, that's the captain, earlier on, and we mentioned this actually, and it's almost come to fruition really, where he spoke after Winchmore Hill of wanting to claim wickets sooner than when they did. Obviously, he played out 35, just over 35 overs at Winchmore on Wednesday, Peter. You look at it now, and you see this.
Yes, that's
And that's another run out. My goodness.
Miscommunication. Not what was needed at this point.
No, that's a shame, that, Peter. And that's another wicket. And as you say, with that run out, I think they went for the run and just saw that it was just going to go too short. Unfortunately, as you can see, when he was starting to come over, he knew he had no chance of making that back, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, I mean, 35 or so overs the first time against England. Yesterday we played out our 45. We were only 6 wickets down. That was very good progress. Right now, unfortunately, this is a step back, and sometimes that happens when you're playing against a team of this quality. You've got to have everything going for you, and today's been a bit of a struggle. We've got to keep fighting today, and then we've got to make sure in the 3 games to go that we're putting on our best performance.
That's right, Peter. And I can thank you now for joining us for these 15 overs. Thank you very much for being with us for this spell, Peter. I hope you've enjoyed the comment. I hope you've enjoyed the commentary. Not so enjoyed what you've seen out there, but thanks for joining us. We really enjoyed you coming on the desk and giving your thoughts. It's been really insightful. Thank you very much, Peter.
You're very welcome. I've got to commend you and the team here for doing a top-notch quality broadcast. I think that's the kind of thing we want to see and aspire to and try and replicate around the world. I hope there's a little bit of fight left in us in this game, and have enjoyed talking with you. Thank you very much.
That's absolutely superb. Thank you, Peter Jones, for those kind words there. Peter Jones there from the US, giving us a great insight just to how US cricket is really evolving, as it is across the world. But what a great insight into what we're seeing in America. Drinks break now, and the US are 43 for 7.
Fun playing off each other.
Yeah, no, it's good.
drinks holder being marketed? You're the inventor, not the marketeer. What, Mr. Mason?
Really good. Yeah, good stuff so far. Yeah.
Do you know who the media guy is for like Go Sixes? Is it the guy that's asking about
Harrison.
No,
Oh,
for
the
the
US.
Americans.
Oh, yeah.
Because they do have sponsors. I just wondered as well. That's what I was saying. It's Harrison.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. The answer is I don't know.
Yeah, that's alright. I'll have a read on later because it'd be nice to get theirs on as well. Because I know Harrison said they
He's done them from the shirts. Peter did them as part of the conversation
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
here, so that.
So then, we're back after the drinks break. As the US look to regroup, and England, wow, they only need 3 more wickets to bowl the US out. And the way it's going at the moment, look to be bowled out for a score of less than 100. But we'll see how it goes. And in comes Kevin Watson, who claimed that last wicket in this over. And it's going to be a wicket maiden for Yorkshire's Kevin Watson. Only, 0 for 1. And fantastic to see from him. He's been so economical. 3 overs in. My goodness. Just confirmation then. That comes in for Ashok Patel is Abhay Maheshwari. As you can just see the umpire there. As we see the drinks break up and running. Padada and Maheshwari to then try and just regroup for the US. As we said with Peter, trying to build a partnership that's been quite difficult for them. When coming up against players who've had an absolute barnstormer out there, the likes of Phil Deacon. 4 wickets for him, and Lee Self getting a wicket for himself as well. Brilliant to see for England. A dot ball there. Storming their way to a 2-0 lead in this Kleenclad Cup. Of course, not done yet. And a few more runs. One more run to add to the total for the US. But just a reminder that Ravi Suri went out 18 for 1. Rizvan Sheet went out at 19 for 2. And a bit of a few more runs added to the total before Rashesh Adarte went out at 35 for 3. CK Chandrakant Barinde at 40 for 4. Pardeep Gill was out at 40 for 5, and it was a bit of a capitulation from the US. Chetan Shah and Ashok Patel going straight after each other, and that's where we stand at the moment at 43 for 7. Well, they've just, as I said that, they've gone on to another 44 for 7. And I'm pleased to say that joining us in the commentary desk now, we've had some US insight. We'll be able to get some England insight as well. Simon Ralph joins us. Simon, thanks for joining us here at Chipping Campden. What have you made of it so far? 44 for 7. Couldn't ask for much better than that at the moment.
No, we bowled very well. Obviously the earlier batting was okay, but I'm not sure the depth in batting. So when you take the key players out, life should become easier. But put the balls in the right areas, ask questions, and have got the rewards.
And yeah, that's an interesting thing. I mean, when it comes to some of the players, have had an absolute bar. As I was just mentioning, what a day they've had out there. None more so than Phil Deacon. 4 wickets stood, quite extraordinary from Deets.
Yeah, what was his figures? 4 for?
God, it was something.
Not a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say less than 10 runs, surely.
Yeah,
right?
it must be.
Because even Kevin Watson, you look at him now. My goodness, he took that wicket 0 for 1. Watson. old Kev Watson. But yeah, it's a.
Yeah,
That's just when you've got players like that in your Arsenal, Simon. That's
Yeah.
just when you've got so many good bowlers. It's such a good unit there.
Yeah. Well, Phil has always been a very consistent bowler. Always puts the ball in the right areas, asks questions. I just speaking to him there, he was saying it wasn't spinning, but the arm ball was swinging quite significantly, and I think most of his wickets came with the arm ball from where I. Oh.
And there you go then. Another wicket took for England, as we can see on the replay. Oh,
High.
yeah. And that's the 8th wicket for England. And Simon, that's the way they're going. My goodness, I think we'd have skittled the US out for less than maybe 75 at this rate.
I think England will be disappointed if USA get more than 75 now. Yeah.
There you go then. The loss of yet another wicket for the US. And that's, yeah, I've got to say, Peter Jones was hopeful at the start of the game when, of course, Ravi Suri elected to bat first. Just trying to do something a bit different in this series, of course, as we saw that big 249-run win on Wednesday at Winchmore Hill. But even so, that's when it's a day like this here at Chipping Campden, and when England really get going. As we say, Kevin Watson, again for him, 44 for 8. Simon, this is it's when you're playing a team like this, you can really show what you're made of, can't you? And this England side have just done that in this series so far.
Yes. As I say, England have just done the basics, put the ball in the right area, and unfortunately, the USA have not been able to adapt. England have bowled very few loose balls to hit, and so runs have been difficult to come by. I think what they need to do is just stick in and grind a grind a partnership out. Well taken, Steve. Yeah, and make the England bowlers work a bit harder, but yeah, it's obviously easier said than done. That's a good take there by Steve down the leg side.
Yeah, just confirmation that Sankar Jayaram has come in to join Maheshwari in the middle. It's very economical from Kevin Watson. 1 for 2 in his 4th over. My goodness, that's a fantastic return. My goodness me. As we've seen all summer from the likes of Kevin Watson, from the likes of Phil Deacon, but pleasing to see someone like Lee Self come in the squad today, and that's another. It's a big call from Kev Watson, but the umpire's unmoved there, Simon.
Yeah, let's. It's got to be most probably pitching outside the leg stump, I would think. It's quite a long way forward. It's obviously quite difficult to see from deep square leg, but yeah, that was a better length by Kev. Nice and full. It's the order of the day here, I think. That's the length, yeah. It's another good take by Steve.
Yeah, as I was just mentioning before, that bit of peel there, Simon. The likes of Kev Watson and Phil Deacon really impressive. And someone like Lee Self coming into the side, replacing Jason Cornt today, and taking a wicket for himself as well. That must be pleasing to see these wickets from everyone today.
Yeah. Lee's a good bowler. Bowls good variety. Spin, slow ball, quick ball. Got a nice arm ball, and his arm ball does go, even though it's fairly easy to pick, but he does have the variation. I think Phil darts it in a bit more. I think Phil's stock ball is more of an arm ball, whereas Lee's stock ball is more of the slower off orthodox left arm, like that one there. That's a good length again, though. Good pace.
Yeah, a few more wides have been added to the total. Have added to their total so far, 46 for 8. But the two in the middle, Sanka and Maheshwari, yet to get off the mark for the US.
Yeah, it's well bowled, bit slower.
Yeah, Lee Self and Kevin Watson both on 1 for 3, 1 wicket for 3 runs. Really, really economical from them. And as we say, when Phil Deacon comes back into the bowling, my goodness, if we see his figures, oh, and that's a big call, and that's, yes, the umpire takes that. We'll see that on the replay. And Maheshwari.
Oh, yeah. Initially, I thought that was a bit high, but looking at the replay, that's hit him under the roll. If that's, yeah, that's not going over. So,
Yeah, LBW by Lee Self, who takes his second wicket of the day. What a day he's having. 46 for 9 then, only 1 wicket in hand then for the US.
yeah, but also with Phil and Lee, you've got Mel Dobson to bowl his slow off spin. But I don't think he's going to get well, he's not going to get much of a bowl today, if at all.
Yeah, that's another element of it, Simon, because when you're playing, when you come to your innings now, like you say, it's and then coming, not getting too much chance to bowl now with only 1 wicket left for the US in hand. So it's interesting with games like this because you compare this. I know it's a completely different element and completely different level of competition when you're playing a team like Australia. But how interesting isn't it playing in games like this when it's almost an early finish because of a really good bowling performance?
Well,
Almost having to, adapt your game in that sense.
Yeah, I think if you bowl a side out cheaply when you bowl first, you keep going and you're a bit more motivated, so you can go chase a lower score. If you're bowling second and you know you're going to win, and you're going to win by many runs, then it's quite difficult to keep enthusiastic and keep going. But while we're bowling first here, I think we'll keep motivated and try and finish this off now. And there you go. That looks as though that's just gone on with the arm again. Not a great shot. I don't know where he's trying to put that through the offside, I guess. And
Wow.
Yep.
There you go then. 46 all out for the US as Natvi goes out for a duck. The 3rd wicket for Lee Self. 3 wickets for 3 runs. Fantastic return from Lee Self. As we say, Phil Deacon taking 4 wickets. Lee Self taking 3. Brilliant. Kevin Watson taking 1 for himself as well. Fantastic to see from England. And within 17.5 overs, England have bowled the US out completely for 46. The lowest innings we've seen. We saw similar at Littleborough, I believe, against the West Indies earlier in the summer. But look at that then. England making light work of the US and bowls them all out for 46. And Simon, just a final reflection on that. As you say, a beautiful day here at Chipping Campden. I mentioned this with Ed Gordon-Lennox, where they wanted to, after the game at Winchmore Hill, he mentioned wanting to take wickets earlier on. And even, wanted to take wickets earlier on in the day. Obviously, they played 35 overs, the US at that point. That has come to fruition and then some today. In almost half the time, half the overs, they've really skittled the US out for less than 50 runs here, Simon.
Yes, a combination of England putting the ball in the right area, bowling well, and some indifferent, shall I say, shot selection from the USA. What else can I say, really? I think England showed their class and difference unfortunately, to the USA side, yes.
Yeah, big thank you to Simon Ralph there for joining us on the commentary desk. Great to get his insight, albeit a short one, of course, as the US were bowled out. But a big thank you to Simon Ralph there for giving us his insight. And there you go then. At Chipping Campden Cricket Club, here in Gloucestershire, it's just on 20 past 12. And I'll just go through, as we've got a few moments, just to tell you how that all happened. If you've just joined us and thought, what on earth has happened there? Well, you know, at 18 for 1, Mike Palmer drew first blood, getting Ravi Suri, the captain, out. 2.5 overs in. It was a decent start for the US. They were 10 for 1 in their first over. No, sorry, 10 for 0, sorry, in their first over. Phil Deacon came in on his second ball. 5 overs in at 19 for 2. He bowled out Rizwan Sheikh. And Phil Deacon, he struck again. Fantastic for Phil Deacon, getting his second of the day, getting out Rajesh Idarte. And then he did it again, getting CK Chandrakant Barlingay out, 40 for 4, and not even 10 overs in. And then he did it again, his second of the over, 40 for 5. 9.5. Then Lee Self got into the action. Steve Aston with a run out at 43 for 7 to get Ashok Patel out. Kevin Watson made it 44 for 8. There was quite a capitulation in that middle order there. Getting Bhavani Padada out. And then Lee Self got 40, got another wicket. His second of the day when he... Wow, yeah, it was an incredible innings there. And as we say, what a bowling performance from England as that final wicket was took on Naqvi, who went out for quite a few ducks there. And as we say, at the moment, and as you join us at Chipping Campden, we'll be back soon for the second innings as England only require 47 get my words out. They require 47 runs to win the Kleenclad Cup. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Oh, do you know, Matt said to me, of course you get the early finish when I'm not there.
hope that was okay. I'm not very good at that sort of thing.
Simon, that was good.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that sort of
No worries.
Like an early finish for you. Or what?
Oh, that's right, yeah. When I was just recapping it then, it was 10 for naught in that first over, and I thought, hold on, you might put a decent enough score on the board, and then I was quite surprised, especially when it hit about 40 runs. They completely capitulated then, didn't they? That was just like, there was a few in succession then. It was like, oh, here we go. There we go. Deacon on fire. Yeah, that's quite interesting. I was quite surprised when
Probably because they got 200 against one. Yeah. That's how it is. Kept the right to a drink.
I'm okay, thank you.
There's a shaky start on the street.
Okay. Oh, I think I did hear slight rumblings. It might have gone down.
But with that, we're up on the Starlink and it's solid now. But there might have been a little bit of disruptions before we got to the start.
Yeah, they don't have to like just stroll along and 1, 2. Oh, right. Yeah, we go. Hello again, everybody. Owen Mason here, back at Chipping Campden Cricket Club here in Gloucestershire. And we rejoin us here as the US were bowled out for 46. But as we've just got a slight moment before both teams come out to bat, or I say for England to bat, here's a message from our sponsors at Kleenclad. a big thank you there to Kleenclad, just showing what they... It's a great job what they do. It's a big, massive sponsor of the England over 60s. Of course, sponsors of this very cup, the Kleenclad Cup, that England are really looking like they're on their way to sealing this afternoon. And with a run rate, that's the lowest we've seen by some margin, required of 1.05. That's just over 1 and over. Even I can work that maths out. And for England now, yeah, we can really see from England they can, get their eye in here, and they really don't have to stress at all. With it only being 40 sits, 47 required, of course. But we can now say that we've got someone in the commentary box who he's in a big group of 4 people that have reached 1,000 runs for the England over 60s. He achieved it at Winchmore Hill on Wednesday. It's Nick Gaywood. Nick, thanks for joining us. First of all, on Wednesday, congratulations, reaching 1,000 runs. What an achievement. Only, of course, Richard Merriman, Monty Douglas and Mel Hussain in that group.
No, it's very, very proud to have done that. Didn't think I'd play enough games. Didn't think I'd live long enough to play enough games to get 1,000 runs.
Yeah, brilliant. I'd say just a quick word on Winchmore Hill. How pleasing was it to get a resounding win on the board on Wednesday? And of course, looking like it today. When you look at today, fantastic spell of bowling from your guys.
Yeah, well, we played America in Chennai in the World Cup, and they gave a pretty good account of themselves. So we weren't sure what to expect, and it often depends who can come on tour, doesn't it, when people go on tour. And so I think these guys as a group don't look as strong as Chennai, and we've done a professional job so far in both games. So that's what you have to do.
That's right. Yeah, because that's the thing, because Ravi Suri, won the toss and elected to bat first. And perhaps a surprising decision, but in terms of how they did well against the Lions, almost achieving 200 runs on the board, of course in defeat, when it was, the Lions have put up 350 on Thursday at Royal Ascot. But with that, as we say, England at 3 for naught in that first over. But yeah, it's an interesting one, that Nick, because as it shows now, as I just mentioned before you came on air, England don't need to panic at all, because you're looking at a run rate of literally 1 and over.
Yeah, these little chases they're not really fun. You've got everything to lose and nothing to gain. So the guys just need to go out and do a professional job and imagine it's a much bigger target and just play properly. Cricket's a really funny game. You have a run out, somebody hits a bad ball to a fielder, somebody bowls you a good ball, and all of a sudden you've lost 3 wickets and you still need 30, and cricket does funny things to your brain. So the guys have got to do a professional job out there and make sure we win.
But yes, had a comment from Matt Evans, who's normally on the commentary desk with us. Thank you very much, Matt, for tuning in. Say hi to Peter. We'll do later. He had a great stint on commentary. Peter Jones from the US team. Matt Evans listening in. Hope you're okay. Owen, yes, I am. Not too bad. Matt, great to be on the commentary again after my stint in Kev Watson land in Yorkshire. So that was... but yes, great to be back on the comms. But yes, we've had another comment from Trevor Lee. Feels like a T20 match this afternoon once this is over. That's it, Trevor. But yes, it's... but yeah, Nick, I mentioned this with Peter, and you look at... with Simon as well, when you look at chases like this, as you say, it's not a fun one to chase, because as you say, it's that pressure then, because you look back at Fairburn last month with Australia. Australia got into a stage of 20 sits for sits, and that just shows how quickly a game of cricket can just turn on its head.
Oh, cricket always or never disappoints. It's very rarely that 2 games are the same. You try and approach every game in the same way as a batter or a bowler, and it never turns out like that. So you just have to do the job on each day, the best job you can.
That's right. But yeah, we look at this now. The Essex openers, Neil Brathwaite and Mel Hussain in first. As we say, so much experience, the 2 of them opening up together. And 2 great players, of course. Mel, a member, like Nick, of the 1000 Club for the England over 60s. He hit that at Sparsholt in the 4th ODI of the Grey Ashes when England levelled the series at 2-all on the 21st of July. But yeah, I was mentioning this with Peter, Nick. You're playing sides like this, and it gives you a range of competition ahead of that World Cup, because you almost go into that competition with, if you don't play nations like this, like you say, they give a good account of themselves in Chennai. You don't know what you're coming up against sometimes, do you? When you get into these big competitions, the world competitions.
Well, no, and you've got to deliver. You're in groups. The last one was 2 groups of 7, and you can probably afford 1 slip up, maybe 2, but you don't want to do that. You've also got 17 people on tour. You need everybody in form. So the World Cups are a fantastic challenge here. India was amazing, and I think really now, with Ashes are out of the way, we're looking at next August, and we've got to put together some plans for how we can make sure that we peak at the right time. That's a gorgeous off drive by Mel.
Great shot to reach 10 for naught for England. And I'd place my money on this could be the 2 to see England through here, Nick, because as we said, they're 2 solid openers for Essex.
Please don't say that.
Commentators'
You've
curse,
immediately cursed the whole day.
No, I've had a few of them this summer, Nick, and I'll tell you that much. A few commentators' curse. Normally, Rash tells me to stay quiet. But no, you're right. But 2 fantastic openers in their own right, Neil and Mel. And that's what, it's that synergy, isn't it? Because when you open for your county, and when you do that then at the international level, that's when you can really build a solid partnership. And we've seen that many a time from these 2.
Oh, these 2 did really well from when I can't remember which test ODI, they started opening together, but they played really, really well. And they put the pressure back on the Aussies with their running between the wickets. And the 3 of the games, I think they did it, might be right. And it was a brilliant start for us. And they gave us that platform. But the running against the best teams, the running and between the wickets and the fielding really are what's going to separate us from the other teams. So that's what we've got to work on. What have we got now? We've got 12 months, haven't we, till next August in Canada. And Canada will be very interesting because they weren't very good pitches when we went there 2 years ago. Great hospitality, lovely place. But I said the pitches were incredibly challenging, and that can be a great leveller.
Well, that's right. You can prepare and prepare, but when you really have to adapt your game like that, Nick, it must really just, it throws plans out the window in that sense, doesn't it? Because you really have to just, every game you have to take it as it comes, really. That's another fantastic shot to reach the boundary by Neil Brathwaite.
Yeah, every pitch is different, every bowler's different. Even the same bowler on different days can pose you a different problem. And it's the people who work out their game plans the quickest, bowling and batting, or set the field right depending on the conditions and the batsman. It's people that do that more proactively than reactively that succeed.
Certainly so. But yes, Brathwaite 4 off 8, Hussain 10 off 6. Good start for England at 15 for naught, as Naqvi comes in again. He went out for a duck. It was the last wicket to fall for the US. But I guess with this, as you say, that 12 months till that World Cup, and it will come round like wildfire. These months are going by so quick, aren't they? It's quite extraordinary how they're coming, these weeks and months, and soon you'll be on that plane to Canada.
Yeah, well, we're still looking at hopefully going on tour somewhere in the winter together, which is a chance to train. Then there's always the possibility of sort of spring, April training camps or playing. But then I think in the start of next summer, there won't be, by all accounts, anybody coming to tour here, because people will be saving their pennies, because there'll be 16 teams, I think, at the World Cup. It's probably expanded World Cup, because I think Scotland have now got status and they'll want to go. So that's absolutely brilliant. So that's where the people's resources will go. So we'll have our own, obviously, the county cricket, and lots of us still play league cricket, and there's another good single. That's where their relationship is so good. They just touch it and run. So yeah, we just got to work out the best way to prepare for it.
Yeah, certainly so. It's going to be an intriguing contest in Canada in August 2026. Brilliant to see. As you say, expanded tournament. Great to see, really, the teams that will be in that. And you'd like to think, like Chennai, you know, Australia and England might be up there again. It might be one of those incredible contests. Just a word on the Ashes, Nick. You know, that was one hell of a series, really, when you look at it, and how it then it ended up 2-2 and then in a tie in the final match with all the DLS drama and everything. You know, yes, Australia retain the Ashes, but there's times there with that, Nick, where you and the squad can be really proud of what you all achieved there. Some really good contests, you know, especially at Fairburn, really limiting that Australia side to 1-7-2. And of course at Sparshot, a great comeback and some great partnerships near the end to make it 2-2. So what did you make of the series in all?
Well, we've had a three Ashes series now against Australia. We've had a World Cup final. We didn't play very well in the World Cup final, so and I think the Aussies won that comfortably. The England home series was very close, 3-2, but we did a good job on them. In Australia, we were 3-0 down, but we should have won the third one. And then we played really, really well the last two, so it was 3-2. And I think the Aussies thought we were in Perth, it was very hot, and I think lovely pull shot from Neil Braithwaite, got onto that really quickly. And I think they thought we would roll over and die, and we didn't. So we were all very sort of proud that we'd come back in difficult conditions. And then this summer was, well, it was just up and down, wasn't it? There would be a session that would go their way, a session that would go our way. One team would get in a good position, then throw it away. Another one would do the same. So it really was extraordinary. And just to go to the last ball of five matches is well, it's brilliant, really. It was, but very nerve-wracking. Yeah.
So yes, a brilliant shot from Neil Braithwaite gets us on to 21 for naught in England, in pursuit of 47. And Gill at the moment. Pardeep Gill, a big call there from the US. But it's an interesting few months ahead. And as you say, that'll be a great metric really to just keep yourselves active, especially in the winter, because obviously when you get a nice tour in the winter, it keeps you active. Obviously, you know, instead of it like, that's the only way really in terms of you could play in indoor facilities, of course, in this country, but obviously it's nice to get that tested against, you know, abroad, isn't it? You know, getting yourself acclimatised to places like Canada again.
Well, everybody who's in this squad goes and trains in the indoor centres, and we all do our batting and bowling, but it's very hard to replicate running between the wickets and fielding on and being stood up for 3 hours. You know, that's at our age, that's quite a good achievement, just standing around for 3 hours. And so we've got to put something in place that really gets our sort of fitness up. Canada could be very hot in August. We've dealt with India pretty well. We've dealt with the heat in Australia pretty well, so we were well prepared, well hydrated. We just, I think, got to keep working on our mobility in the field and our running between the wickets.
So then, fifth over for England. Braithwaite 10 off 15, Hussain 11 off 9 deliveries. Another 25 runs required for England to seal the Kleenclad Cup, with one game to spare, and that of course comes at Hursley Park on Wednesday. Yeah, it's been a pat-told summer, Nick, and in terms of just, you know, keeping yourselves active, really, in terms of really, you know, some really interesting tests. You know, the West Indies and the games against Wales and Scotland, who we know are improving all the time. Scotland getting that professional status, as you say. You know, that's been a nice range of tests, hasn't it, to really just, you know, see where you are as a unit, you know, and really testing yourself, you know, right to the limit against Australia, and just playing loads of different sides. And socially as well for you guys, it's always great to get as many games in under your belt as you can.
Well, we've got, I mean, with the Lions set up, we've got a great group, really nice blokes, and we've got abundant sort of talent. Really, I don't envy the selectors. It's not easy. The Lions, you know, do everything that's asked of them. They gave the Aussies a really good run. People put in big performances and say, "Pick me." So you've got to be on your toes. And we're lucky we've got that structure. So, but it is, I mean, a lot of these guys, I was looking, I think I've played 37 matches this year because I've played. This is ridiculous. I don't think when I was sort of properly able, I played as many. I've got league cricket on Saturdays and play for the Yorkshire over 60s. Then you've got the England stuff. Then there's Yorkshire 50s, second 11 I played for. I've played some games for the 40 club, and it just seems to be sort of running away with itself a bit, to be honest. But I'm not alone. There are a lot of the guys have played that volume of cricket, and I suppose that helps you. You know, you've got to do what's right for you. But you know, it's quite a lot of us feel we need to be on the pitch a lot. That's what. So the winter, as you pointed out, the winter break. Yes. You know, it's nice to get on grass as much as you can in the winter, and so we'll miss touring if we don't tour. But we'll see what we can come up with. The management are well aware of all of this, and they're beavering away behind the scenes trying to get things sorted.
Yeah, 24 for naught, 2 singles off this Maheshwari over. His first over in the bowling. Yeah, freed up balls, 2 singles. Leaves England, as you say, 24 for naught in pursuit of 47 runs here at Chipping Campden. Yeah, you mentioned the Lions there, Nick, in terms of the setup there, in terms of really, you know, the likes of people like Timor Alam, who had a really good showing. I believe it was at, I'm trying to get my dates now. It's either Cheadle, no, not Cheadle Hume. It might have been Cheadle Hume, actually. I think it was, yes. And he had a great showing, and then was fast-tracked into that England side, and he had a really good showing at Fairburn. So that's where, that Lions setup is so crucial, because it gives so many players a chance. It's such a competitive, as we've said so many times for Ed Gordon Leonard, selection headaches all over the place, because you've got so many players really fighting tooth and nail to represent their country, and that's just, you all as competitive as each other. I can tell you're a competitive bunch, Nick.
Yeah, I sort of thought that by 62 that the competitive fire might have gone out, but it hasn't. And when you do something wrong or you don't play well, I've found I'm in exactly the same bad mood that I was when I was 17, 18, 19. And there's still the perfectionist bit where you like to hit the ball properly, you don't want to play badly. And I think loads of us are like that. We just love cricket, and we've kept going.
Brilliant to see. So yeah, 27 for naught, 2 and a 1 so far off this Gill over. And they'll get another run to add to the total.
Yeah, this guy just swings it around a bit. I faced him for a couple of, not much, but he moved it away from me. I'm left-handed, so he's ducking it into the right-handers. And if you move fractionally too early, it clonks you on the pads.
Yeah, signalled by the umpire there to move England on to 28 for the loss of no wickets. 19 to go then for them. And another run gets them on to 29. But yeah, for this, Nick, in terms of, where are we? In terms of, got the Tri-Nations to come in September. That's the end of the summer season then for England after this US series is done and dusted at Hamworthy for the Lions on Thursday. But, overall, the summer has been quite a roaring success. Some fantastic games against Wales, Scotland, the West Indies series as well, the Stonehill Cup. How pleased have you been with everyone this summer? It's been a great summer of action, and we've had it very lucky with the weather as well. We've had probably one of the driest summers in years.
No, it's been, I think, last year I lost 9 of my first 12 cricket games, and you felt really undercooked. And this year I think I tried to make sure I got games in everywhere, and then I probably played too many. But yeah, no, it's gone really, really well. It's quite tough when you're trying to play, the hardest thing probably is you're trying to play for your county on the Tuesdays, and sometimes the games are on Wednesdays. It's very hard to schedule people. We have to have grounds available and all the things that go into administrating stuff like this. And that is quite a tough ask, because you don't want to let your county down, but your country has to come first. That's the greatest honour you could have, is representing your country. So that the scheduling's tough. But no, it couldn't go on any better, really. It's just that last ball at Royal Ascot that we're all still haunted by. If Kev had only ripped his middle stump out instead of being kind to him.
Nick Dawood's brave to say that as Kevin Watson's behind him, but brilliant. Yeah, another nice hit from Hussain there. Gets another run onto the board as England reach 30 runs. Nice partnership forming. 30 runs off 37 balls. As we just approach 10-1 here at Chipping Campden Cricket Club. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on the England 60s YouTube channel. Great to have you with us, as always. That's a cracker by Neil Brathwaite. And that'll go for 4 runs. As they just look to retrieve the ball. But yes, only 13 runs required now for England to seal the series in the Kleenclad Cup. Easy for me to say it, 2-0. But yes, it's another nice day of it. It's going to be the same at Eastern Castle tomorrow in Ledbury for the Lions, as they look to claim their second win against the US, as they did at Royal Ascot on Thursday. Yeah, and for a nation like the US, Nick, you know, Peter Jones was speaking about it, where, you know, it's growing ever more, and we saw it with that T20 World Cup last year in the US, and it just shows, you know, for a sporting nation like the US that have so many sports under their arsenal, to then get cricket and really try and grow that as much as they can. He was saying the seniors level of that is growing. You know, it keeps growing year on year. That's always a good metric to just, you know, seniors cricket is just thriving all over the world, isn't it? And it just, you know, even across the pond.
Well, USA is particularly interesting. They've got a large influx of Southeast Asian migrant workers who go in and do sort of consultancy jobs and the IT stuff. So there's a large influx, and with that there's a certain element of wealth along with their legendary cricket passion. So they're starting places all over the place. You also have a lot of people from the Caribbean that go to live and work in America and Canada. So you've got those cricketers there. And Pete seems to think that there is an interest in certain areas where people see cricket, that they find it a little bit, dare I say this, sorry if there's any Americans listening, but that there is an element of the youth who are really, really enjoying the cricket. And then maybe baseball's sort of, it's still got a stranglehold, but it's losing it a little bit, and that was Pete's feeling when I spoke to him. But it's such a huge country. I mean, you've got what, 4 or 5 time zones like Australia, and to coordinate cricket. I mean, I have some experience because I work for the Root Academy, and we've got an academy in Baltimore, and then we've got some satellite academies, one in Michigan somewhere, I can't remember where that one is, and the other one in North Carolina at a ground called Morrisville, which is a lovely ground. And then you've got there's a very nice ground down in Florida with a bit of a stadium, and then you've got a fantastic facility in Dallas where they built the new National Stadium. They managed the pop-up ground just outside New York for the T20 World Cup, and there's things happening, but I think it's quite hard. I mean, Liam Plunkett's over there running cricket in Philadelphia, which is just up the road from Baltimore. So there's lots of things happening. And and I can only see it growing. And that will have a knock-on effect in terms of the seniors as well eventually. But I think their challenge is getting it together. I mean, if you follow their T20, their IPL equivalent, I think there are 6 franchise teams now. 4 or 5 of them are owned by the big Indian ones. The influx, if you look at the number of test players and ex-test players that have played, or internationals that were playing in that, it's well done. So I don't see America going backwards. I think it will keep on growing.
That's brilliant. Yeah, it's a good. It's very interesting to see where it just goes. You know, year on year. You know, you say me and Matt and everyone, and Nuala, Benny, and Ivor just been involved with this over 60s cricket in the last year or so. We've seen the growth. It's been extraordinary to see it. You know, we've been up and down the country with you guys. It's been, you know, just seeing, even hearing about it at county level. It's opened up our eyes to how much, how much interest, how much growth there is year on year, and you've seen that being just such a big part of it in the squad, Nick. But that's just being a part of that. I said this to Peter, and I've said this to so many people on tour till I'm blue in the face. You're just so proud to be part of that.
Well, yeah, we're extremely proud. You're representing your country, and you've got the 3 Lions. And I think that the biggest disappointment to all of us is the way that the ECB haven't sort of brought us into their pathway. So I work in cricket as a job, and I'm hearing inclusion, and I'm seeing exclusion with regard to the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I have no idea why they don't want to get a handle on it, why we're not part of the kit thing alone, the transport benefits you get. You can fly whatever with one of the under-19s, or the disability, or the blind. There are benefits for being in the England family, and I don't understand it. Every single one of the guys in our teams and in our county sides have given years of service to cricket. Most of them are still coaching. Most of them are on the committees. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand why we're not in this, this inclusive pathway. And so they have to look at, like as you said, we've now got 8 counties playing in the 60s. Then there's a second 11 and a third 11 and a fourth 11 in nearly the fourth 11 in about a third of the counties. So, I mean, what more? We've got an ageing population, obesity and mental health, and physical fitness are the buzzwords. This is something that does it all. And why the ECB don't I don't think it would cost them a lot of money. I think they just need to embrace it and maybe support the national teams at World Cups and things like that. It's lunacy.
Yeah, you see the thing is with the viewership that we're getting here, Nick, in terms of the Australia series, had some fantastic viewership. I think we had almost an average of about 10,000 total views over the day in some of the games. And you see, that's where these bigger sponsors are coming in. And as you say, year on year, you're seeing the sponsors growing. And that's pleasing to see that, isn't it, Nick, in terms of where it is when you first joined, Nick, and where it is now in 2025. And it's just so interesting to see what could be done in the next year or so. As you say, it's a very good point you made there with the ECB.
Well, the figures, as you said, just from that you guys have generated through our social media are really impressive. And you add that to something that's ECB endorsed, supported, embraced, and you've got, surely that's good for the game on all levels. It's not just helping us, it's helping cricket on all levels. It just gives it a higher profile. So I am really surprised. And I know we're going to keep badgering them at every opportunity. They get ear bashed, and quite rightly so.
So 40 for naught then for England. And with shots like that, they're on 44 runs now. Cracking boundary. They only need 3 more to reach that target of 47 and seal that Kleenclad Cup. Brathwaite, 18 off 29. And great from Mel Hussain. He moves on to 21 runs from 18 deliveries. Yeah. So, 3 runs needed. And, it's... I've said this earlier, Nick, but it's like you almost don't like games like this because, especially in that Australia series, especially at Sparsholt, a fantastic run chase to then level the series at 2-2. The pressure was on. And then I think, were you part of that last partnership with Steve Aston, I believe you were, weren't you?
Yeah, it was me and Steve.
That's
yeah.
right, and what a fantastic run chase it was. And you look at it and you think, that those sort of games, we were, me, Rash and Matt were on the absolute edge of our seats, especially, as you say, right down to that final ball at Ascot. It's quite an extraordinary, and that just shows, that was a fantastic advert for how much seniors cricket is just giving these just intriguing contests across the board.
Well, playing in a series of 5 matches is very alien. So in your club cricket, you play somebody twice a year. You might play them in a cup. In minor counties, you probably play them everybody once, maybe another time in a cup game or something. This is really weird. You line up with the same players all the time, and it's 5 games in a row, and you sort of live and breathe it for the period, the 3 weeks that it was taking place. And the tension, because you don't want to lose to the Australians, and we wanted to regain the Ashes. And it was knackering. You were the adrenaline flowed all the time. You were on it. It was, and when you're not at the cricket, you're thinking about it. You're thinking, how am I going to do this? Because you've got the same bowlers. It's not like you're turning up and it's a different team the next week and you're going to face different bowlers. So it was a great advert. It was a really great advert for seniors cricket.
Certainly. And with that, Neil Brathwaite gets that singular run after the 2 runs at the start of that Mashwari over. And England reach their target of 47 for naught. Brathwaite and Hussain, 21 runs each, plus a few wides in there. Reach England 47 for the loss of no wickets. And at this stage, England seal the Kleenclad Cup at 2-0 ahead of the final ODI. And we've of course got the Lions to come this week as well. And at this moment, I can thank Nick Gaywood for his time on the commentary. Thank you very much, Nick. It's been really good to have your insight as always, and hope you've enjoyed it.
No probs. Thanks very much.
Thank you. That's Nick Gaywood there. Brilliant to have him on. And at the end of this game, as we say, just hit 1 o'clock here at Chipping Campden, we will get an interview with the captain, Ed Gordon-Lennox, to see what he thinks of that 47 not out after stittling the US out for 46 all out. So we will get the England captain, Ed Gordon-Lennox, in a moment. Bear with us, and we will get the England captain with us. Welcome back. You join us with the England captain, Ed Gordon-Lennox. So, Ed, it was obviously the US electing to bat first, and a fantastic bowling performance, especially by the likes of Phil Deacon, Lee Self, 4 wickets and 3 wickets, respectively. What did you make of that, stittling them out for 46?
Well, look, Owen, thank you. I feel sorry for them because they've made really good progress in the first week of the trip. We gave them a bit of a hard time in the first ODI. They did much better than the Lions, and they got the courage to be able to bat first on what is a good wicket, and they got off to a good start there. I think they were 25 for no wicket or something, but it's really tough, so I do feel sorry for them. But yeah, the boys bowled well. Deeks bowled well, and Lee Self back in the side bowled well, and of course Palmer and Watson, the seamers, bowled well. So look, we've got away with it, and we've got the Kleenclad Cup, which is what we intended to do right from the start.
Yeah, and obviously once it got to obviously your innings, you get the Essex openers of Neil Brathwaite and Mel Hussain, 21 each for them, of course. You've always got a sure pair of hands there with those two.
Yeah, it's interesting, different dynamic, because what couldn't happen there, 21 each, well choreographed. What couldn't happen is they didn't want to get out. They'd have got some stick from the boys had they got out. So hey, look, good result all round.
Yeah, and a few more games to come this week, of course, for the Lions at Eastern Castle tomorrow, and you've got Hursley Park and Hamworthy to come as well. What are you looking forward to? Obviously, seeing the Lions take on the USA tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, different game. Eastnor's a nice place. It's out in Herefordshire. Not many people have been played there, and I gather Hursley and Hamsworthy are nice places. So, the Americans, they've got more cricket to come. And they've got it in beautiful places, and they're a great bunch. So this trip is a real tick in the box for them, and I hope they keep learning.
That's the England captain Ed Gordon-Lennox there. Thank you very much for that, Ed. And before the end of the stream, we'll be looking to catch Phil Deacon after he claimed 4 wickets. See you in a moment. Fancy. Thank you very much. Welcome back. You join us with Phil Deacon. Phil, congratulations. The Kleenclad Cup secured and 4 wickets for yourself. What did you make of that?
Thanks, yeah. Seemed to be a lucky team for me, USA, and I've always done well against them. Quite enjoyed opening the ball in, which I don't always do, but the ball swung really big, so I was quite a handful today, so yeah, it was good. Obviously, at the top of the order, they've got some decent players, and we managed to get through them, so yeah, very good. Nice to win. It's a pity it's been such a quick game, but I'm sure we'll try and do something else now.
Yeah, and it continues a good summer for you. Some great days at the wickets, obviously 3 at your local club at Littleborough as well. How pleasing is it to get quite a few wickets in hand? Of course, you and Lee Self getting quite a few today.
Yeah, they seem to struggle at the USA against the left-arm spin. Obviously, Lee came on the ball really well, so he got 3 for 3, I think. It's been good, really good summer. Yeah, I've really enjoyed myself. I'm a bit fitter this year, so I still need to lose a bit of weight, but I'm quite a bit fitter. And I've been bowling well all year, so I'm bowling well for my club. So long may it continue. I think I'm 2 behind Jim Phillips now. Jim's the leading wicket taker for England, and I believe I'm 2 behind him now. So hoping to catch him.
Brilliant. That's Phil Deacon now after he claimed 4 wickets today. And that's it from us today at Chipping Campden. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be at Eastern Castle tomorrow as the Lions take on the USA in the second one-day international. See you at Eastern. Goodbye from us.